This year, the students selected Ashley Passarelli. Mrs. Passarelli has been a social studies teacher here at the high school for 13 years. Students, please welcome your selection for faculty speaker, Mrs. Ashley Passarelli. And Mrs. Fox.
Thank you, Dr. Rittenhouse. Seniors, soon-to-be graduates, my loves, I'm honored to be your graduation speaker this evening. I'm also slightly terrified, but sometimes it's worth stepping outside your comfort zone. As some of you know, I set the bar high for myself and decided to go into teaching for fame and fortune. Let's be honest, it's not for everyone. Not many people can handle 100 teenagers at the doorstep every morning, or constantly being hounded by students for their autograph all day long. It's really time-consuming to keep up with all my online fan mail. And it would probably scare most people to have their names randomly called out in public places. But the fancy wardrobe, as you like to say, it's the move. Bad buzz jokes aside, I graduated high school 20 years ago. On June 4th, 1997, I sat in your position, eagerly awaiting my diploma and my next adventure. That night, my parents gave me a graduation card that contained 3 pieces of advice. Smile and be friendly, this too shall pass, and a quote, in each of us is a piece of the past to carry us into the future. Simple statements, but ones I've returned to time and time again over the past 2 decades. So I share them with you this evening. Smile and be friendly. It may be hard to believe, given all the silly things you've seen me do, but I was not always so outgoing. My parents thought this would be a good piece of advice for their slightly introverted only child as she headed off to college. As an adult and a teacher, the sentiment has taken on new meaning. It's not only about making friends, it's also about getting along in life, being a nice person. As you've heard Mrs. Ward and me say many times, life is easier when people like you. Part of this is being friendly and making yourself approachable. Part of this is having empathy and treating others with dignity and kindness. And part of this is recognizing that happiness is contagious. So smile, be friendly, and try your best to look on the bright side. Sometimes that can be hard to do, so remember that second piece of advice. This too shall pass. Maybe high school hasn't been your thing. The friendship drama, the disagreements with family over your burgeoning independence, the stress in the fall about getting into college, and the fears in the spring about getting along in college. While I can confidently tell you that this too shall pass, I can't guarantee that life will be without its challenges. So when the demands placed upon you outweigh your resources to cope, or if your world suddenly gets turned upside down, stop, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that this too shall pass. Look for the hidden lesson and hope the challenge gives you wisdom and strength to get over life's next hurdle. We can also take it as a reminder to stop and enjoy the good times, to be present in these moments, for they too pass quickly. The final piece of advice is the one I cherish most. In each of us is a piece of the past to carry us into the future. One of my favorite psychologists is Erik Erikson. His theory tells us that the primary task of adolescence is to find an identity, to understand who we are as unique individuals in accord with our past experiences and our future plans, to explore our values and goals, and to commit to an identity. You're all at different stages of that identity crisis. Identity achieved? Awesome. Be confident in yourself and your goals moving forward. Identity moratorium? Enjoy your search. There's so much out there. Identity diffused? It's okay too. As Will Ferrell told USC grads this spring, it's early. You'll eventually get where you're going. Your time at Springfield has put you on the right path. From our classrooms, I hope that our passion for learning energizes you. Maybe an experience in psychology leads you to neuroscience, or to become a champion of mental health. A lesson in history that moves you to advocate within your own community, or to do something to improve the standard of living halfway around the globe. Perhaps a science lab sparks your curiosity in our natural world and a desire to save it for future generations. That's a figurative spark, science department. I truly believe that you are here in this place at this time for a reason. Be inspired and do something constructive with the education you've received. I went into teaching not for fame and fortune, but because of my own high school experience. I bring my past into the classroom every day as I aspire to emulate the teachers who changed my life. Teachers who made their classrooms feel like home, who taught me that I didn't have to be perfect, and who believed in me when I doubted myself. I strive to give to you what they gave to me. And while we hope to be a positive force in your lives, you should also know that you inspire us. It has been a privilege to watch you grow as students and young adults over the past 4 years. Thank you for the us time, the special moments outside the classroom where the lessons learned about life are just as important. Thank you for letting me encourage you, for letting me laugh with you, and even at times this year, for letting me cry with you. Together, we bond. I look back at that card 20 years later, and the sentiments my parents hoped to impart to their 17-year-old daughter then remain relevant now. While I bear little resemblance to that girl who graduated all those years ago, the experiences I had, the people I met, all influenced who I am today, as will the people sitting around you tonight. People who love you, and those who will become better because of you. You may remember only bits and pieces as time passes, but Springfield will never leave your heart. It will always be a part of you, and you a part of us. Tonight, high school officially becomes a piece of your past. May the relationships you formed and the lessons you've learned carry you to a bright and successful future. Thank you.